Hey, Word, how is it being a dad?
It's a lot of things.
It's a very diplomatic answer.
I've learned to be diplomatic in my elder years.
Well, I knew it would happen sooner or later.
Later,
Not even being diplomatic about you're not being diplomatic.
that's true.
Okay, look, if you want to see pure intellect, the number one winner of the Geshe Michael bet system, it's right here.
Oh.
Wow.
She's gonna get kidnapped by one of these audience people. I think.
Oh, there she is.
Wow, she's like, yeah, I'm cute.
Yeah.
You didn't want to sleep anyway, Word. It's okay.
Sleep's overrated.
Hey, congratulations. She's very beautiful.
Thank you.
She's in the middle of your heart already. I know.
What's her name?
Sushumna. Sushumna. Central Channel. Zhongmai. Yay. All right, you guys ready? Word, you ready?
Yes.
All right, here we go. Progress report. We're doing about normal, which is 6 folio faces. Those of you who are translating directly from the Tangier, like Nick, the Tangier pages are huge and they have a lot more words on them. So, but a normal carving like the one that Word's working on, 6 folio faces per term is pretty good. I'm saying that's per day actually, per class. Okay. No, I'm sorry, it's per term. Yeah. Okay, anyway. We can finish your second mind-only book, I estimate, in February 2024. So in about a year, just over a year, we'll be finished with your second book. Maybe we could go to Chang'e after that, Word, if you're up for it. I'm trying to sell Chang'e to somebody. I would love to do it. And it's 50% mind-only. So
Did you finish it?
I started and I never finished it. I started it with Stanley's speed program. And I never finished it. And we still should find a good commentary. It's pretty short.
Wensek?
Yunze, yeah. I mean, that would take about
30 years.
By the way, I tried to translate his commentary and I wasn't that excited about it. I don't think I would continue. Yeah. Okay, so it's gonna be about a 500-page book, same as the Diamond Cutter. All right, so you're on schedule. You're doing good, and I think Word of everybody, Word tried to translate ahead, right? Word.
I did.
Yeah, and I want to thank you for that. I think I'm always looking for passionate people who want to do extra stuff, and it makes me really, really happy. I was sitting there scratching my head, thinking I was in the wrong book or something, and then I said, "Oh my God, he actually went ahead and tried to translate," and it really, really makes me happy, and it makes me really grateful. And God bless you, okay? How you do that in addition to your new production, I don't know. But maybe you don't get any sleep, you just translate all night. So that sounds good. But I'm really, really grateful. And I know like Stanley did that mind map. And just that extra effort means a lot to me as a teacher. It gives me a lot of encouragement when you guys do that kind of stuff. So here we go. I'm going to ask you to, yeah?
I can't attest to its accuracy, but I tried.
You know, you don't make accurate translations without doing a hell of a lot of inaccurate translation first. So it's about half 50-50, but if you don't do that, you will never translate. Never, ever, never. So God bless. I love it. I love it. And I'm very grateful. And it just shows initiative, and, you know, it's got to be like that. If this program's going to succeed, we got the translators have to be passionate. And if you're not passionate, it's a waste of time. So, all right. Hey, Tim, you want to come sit next to Grandpa and criticize a word? It's very fun. That's why I got married. I don't even need someone to sit in next to me. Okay. He's eating Thai food, so don't mind the yellow color on his face. All right. Okay, word. Let's go.
Sabon ringja ngame you can chepe to kong ne kong.
Two no prenasal on the second column. Two.
Okay. To kong ne kong to pelwe na dei te yang chuni ki nepa tang ken ki yang dakpar langpa nika yinpe chir tang.
Okay. This one sentence kind of wraps up, or it kind of expresses the two competing ideas we have that we're working on in words text. And it's very, very sexy. I think it's very, very cool. And this one sentence is so southern means seed. By the way, after Vic, I don't know why, but the prenasal is even heavier. Ringda, it sounds like ring. Ringda, okay. So a seed at 8 o'clock, okay, which is the seed of a similar type in the previous moment, okay, acts as a gyuken, acts as a contributing cause, okay, and then by its power, when things are kone kondu pelwe, as that seed increases in power, at that time also, chiniki nepa, the fact that it is existing by the very nature of things through shunyata, okay, it is persisting through shunyata, but it's also triggering things, okay. So words text here, there's the great debate between Rangshin Nerik and Saban. How do you get to nirvana? How do you get to Buddhahood? Because you work hard, hearing, thinking, meditating to Samgom, which increases bigger and bigger and bigger, right? Or is it because you always had that Buddha nature in you? Which one?
Yes.
Don't tell me they work together, because one is unchanging and the other changes every millisecond. Don't tell me they work together. But these arguments are all addressing this question. How can you say that I have to study, meditate, and practice in order for my natural Buddhahood to get Buddhahood? Was it change? What are you talking about? Okay, and it's a beautiful debate. Okay, so he says there are seeds which replicate themselves. Their power gets bigger and bigger, and at the same time, they are staying there by the very nature of things, and there is increase through causation at the same time. Nika yin, both are going on at the same time. there is an unchanging Buddha nature being revealed by a changing practice. Okay, and otherwise it doesn't make sense. Okay, it's very beautiful. All right.
It's the same with karma and emptiness, no?
It's basically an argument between karma and emptiness. Yeah. Okay, keep going. Tim's still here.
Gior yupa la drape por meper sungba yang ken tang ma trepe wang du zepe chiro.
Up above in section 367, if you're interested, they were talking about things that could be a cause without being a result. Okay, existing as a cause without existing as a result. Okay, and some people said, well, he's trying to address the question of an unchanging Buddha nature and the cause of making it happen, of enlightenment, which is study, 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 meditate, 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 practice, practice, practice. So he says, oh, yeah, we saw a text that said there could be the cause there, but no result. Yeah, but all that's referring to is not some interaction between changing and unchanging. It's not talking about that. They are not suggesting that there is some interaction between something unchanging, which is your Buddha nature, and something which changes every millisecond, which was your study and your meditation. They're not saying that. He says, it just means until the Gyu chepas the kin.
Meets it, touches it.
Yeah, until the cause bumps into the necessary triggers, then yeah, it's not going to have a result. Okay. Maybe you have a predilection to become a Buddha, but until you study, nothing's going to happen. That doesn't mean your inner habits aren't causes. They just didn't meet the right trigger yet. Okay, ken means trigger. They're in you. They weren't opened yet. They weren't triggered yet. So when we say there's a cause without a result, we just mean so far, until you meet the necessary circumstances, until you study. Okay, all right. Go ahead, Word, and Uncle Tim is still here. He did such a good job in Japan. He really, really helped that university get up. Yay.
Neba ni pe kyangmin te tekdusu sakme ki sabanchu ki kui sabandu tsungma chu chukiku yang drip ni pakchak tang chepa pangpe te shini topso ki yunten ki chuki pen du kurpa yin parndrelpa ke chelwe chirtang.
Good. Again, the whole argument again is how can you have a Buddha nature inside of you that's like a piece of steel and cannot change? And then you brush it with a toothbrush or something? Like how can a flimsy little causes and conditions affect pure diamond? How can they ever interact? Okay, what's the point? And he says here, you asked us way back in Word's argument here, somebody brought up two problems. We just finished the first problem, and we're just starting the second problem. What was the first problem and what was the second problem is right here, okay? Then, this guy is bringing up problems. There's two kinds of there's two kinds of rik. There's two kinds of Buddha nature in people. What? Rang Shin Ne Rik. The natural one that stays within all people at all times and never changes. And then there's what we call Gengyurki Rik. The Buddha nature that you have to
Develop.
develop or cultivate. You have to cultivate it. Okay, so there's two rigs. There's a Rangshin Rik, unchanging Buddha nature, emptiness of not coming from you. Okay, and then there's the what we call the Gengyurki Rik, which is the part of the Buddha nature in you that has to be developed and cultivated. Okay, here's the gyu without the here's the cause without the result. Okay, and here's the second part that he's going to whine about. Don't they say that Rangshin Nirig, the unchanging Buddha nature inside of you, is the cause of your essence body? Okay. Don't they say this? Who's talking? An opponent. He's saying, look, don't you guys talk about Rangshin Nirig? Don't you talk about the natural enlightenment inside of people? They say, yeah, we talk about it. And don't you say that that's the one that triggers your essence body of the four bodies, right? Two physical. What are the two physical ones? Nirmanakaya, the one you sent to earth.
Sambhogakaya, the one you're in the paradise.
Yeah, and then
The two.
Yeah.
Mental body.
Yeah, your mental state when you reach Buddhahood, and then Svabhavakaya, your nature, okay, body. And that's called Monyiku. Okay. So he says the opponent's second argument, okay, because it came a long time ago, and I went and got it for you. His second argument was, don't people talk about some kind of natural enlightenment inside of you? Yes. Is it called Buddha nature? Yes. Is it called Tathagata Garbha? Yes. Is it the womb of those Gandhas? Yes. Isn't it described as the cause or what turns into your essence body? And that's his second problem that he raises. Okay. So here's hey, no problem. Your attempted second problem doesn't hurt me at all. Okay, doesn't hurt me. Oftentimes in logic, you talk about an argument damaging an opponent or hurting an opponent. Your argument doesn't touch me, man. Okay, why? Because we can go to Mahayana Sangraha. Okay, Tekpa Chemba Dupa by
Master
Sangha.
Okay, yeah, but it's all the same. Okay, Mahayana Sangraha. We can go, I can show it to you. Sagmeki Saban. When you talk about an unstained seed, and you talk about it being the seed of the Dharmakaya, okay? Sungla, Chuki Kuyan, Jimni Bachandan Chepa Bambe Shini. But that Dharmakaya you're talking about is the condition of having eliminated the two kinds of obstacles along with their deep seeds. Okay, what's the two kinds of obstacles? Yeah. Okay, so the condition of those two obstacles being removed is your Dharmakaya. Okay. Deshini. Now here's the punchline. That Dharma body, Dharmakaya, which is the result of eliminating obstacles to enlightenment, the two kinds of obstacles, is a den for the other wonderful qualities of a Buddha, which are themselves changing entities. For example, Top 2, the 10
basis.
Okay, so here's a tricky answer. Okay, is your is there such a thing as a seed for your Dharmakaya? He says, well, in a way there is. Well, what do you mean? Well, there's a Buddha nature that acts as the basis on which you build your Dharmakaya. And it's the basis on which you build your qualities, such as omniscience, which is an impermanent, constantly changing thing. Okay, so he says it's not a cause, it's a foundation. Our guy's trying to draw a distinction between it's not a cause of the Dharmakaya, it's a kind of a foundation. Okay, for that. I mean, if it was me and I was in the debate ground, I'd say, well, so it's holding up. And since it's a foundation, I guess it's functioning to hold up your Dharmakaya, right? And then the guy's in trouble anyway. But I don't know. So here he says, tend to Gyurpa. That's how we get out of the problem. We don't say what? We don't say Gyurpa. We don't say Gyurpa. We don't say your emptiness or your Buddha nature is the cause for your Dharmakaya. Don't say it that way. It's the support for your Dharmakaya. Well, if it supports, it must be changed. No. Okay, I don't know. You got to go there and there. Okay. Now, who says that? Delpa Niki. We got some cool stuff going on here.
I have no idea.
I was noticing that. We got something going on the screen. I don't think it shows up. That's probably Amelie for her birthday. She's okay.
Oh,
Drawing.
you're not doing those crayon marks there?
I am not. So don't blame me. That's your Dharmakaya essence supported. Okay, so Jalpanika means both commentaries agree. Chalwa is the ancient verb for jalwa, to comment. Okay, it comes from a verb cholwa, which means to untie a knot. Okay, so that's commentary. All right, don't ask me what both commentaries. Okay, nobody asked me. Good. Okay. Oh, he says root text and commentaries.
Can I just make a quick comment? So somebody with some sort of access is drawing on the screen and the name appears to be Chinese characters. So
Yeah.
if you could try to erase those marks from the screen, that would be helpful. It's a little distracting.
I think they're kind of cute.
All right.
Anyway, by the way, there's the root text word where they talk about this argument. And I thought it would be fun if you could put it into your text. It's only 3 short paragraphs, okay? I thought it'd be fun to put it in as a footnote. So if you would like to read that first long sentence, 4 lines, Tim has offered to critique you.
Tela pakchak chung la ten ne pakchak drink por ngoro. Pakchak drink por la tene pakchak chen por ngyorte. Tupa tang sampa tang gompa len mangdu jawa tang nembe chiro.
Translate word.
Those small bakchaks, those small seeds or potentials, those small babies depend upon.
No, say it the other way. Say it the other way.
Oh, okay, I see. Yeah. Those middling seeds are dependent upon those small bakchaks, those small seeds, and those bigger seeds are dependent upon those middling seeds.
Good.
Listening, contemplating, and meditating many times. Because you listened, contemplated, and meditated many times.
Yeah, so this is obviously talking about the part of your enlightened capacity, which is being built up, cause and effect, cause and effect, cause and effect. You study, you get a result. You meditate, you get a result, okay? Now, keep going, word. That's the changing part.
Okay. Tela tupe pakchaki saben chungu tang chingpo, tang chempo, yang chu ki, kui saben tu tate.
Stop there. Stop there.
Okay.
This is a very controversial statement.
Okay. Those potentials which come from listening,
From going to class, actually.
yeah,
Okay.
going to class, those small seeds that come from going to class, and the middle ones and the big ones, also are the seeds for seeing yourself or seeing the
Oh, this thought means I want you to see them as,
the seed of the Dharma body.
yeah, I want you, who's speaking, a Sangha, right?
Or Sangha, yeah.
Who's an Arya. He says, I want you to think about those seeds that you pile up by going to all the classes are seeds for your Dharmakaya. Okay? But, and by the way, why does he say, I want you to think of them that way? Because they cannot be. The Chukiku is unchanging. The
Right.
Dharma is unchanging. Okay? But he says, a Sangha says, you know what? Let's think of going to class as a seed, which creates your unchanging Buddha nature body. Okay. Okay. Kind of controversial. A Kushi number shaping Nyembo Yin. What's that mean?
It is the antidote to the foundation consciousness.
Yeah. Now listen, word. So I went to class lots of times. I went to all 60. Poor grandpa working so hard. I went to all 60 classes, even if I had to get up a little bit early or go to bed a little bit late. And I got all those seats. Okay. What are they going to do? They are actually the nyembo for kunchi. They are going to permanently destroy your foundation consciousness, which is the big refrigerator of all your bad karmic seeds. The seeds you plant by coming to class are gonna destroy your kunshi, okay, where you keep all your seeds, okay? By the way, what's the next question gonna come up?
What about all the good seeds in your kunshi?
Well, partly. I'll say it again. Look, keep coming to class. Go to all 60 classes. Don't say you're sleepy. I'm sleepy also. Okay, come to all the classes. Why? You're going to get seeds. Seeds for what, Geshe? You're going to get a Dharmakaya from these seeds. Wow, what's that look like? Will they destroy your kunshi? Those seeds destroy your kunshi.
Where do they stay?
Yeah, where the hell they stay? Tim finally asked the elephant in the room, they call it. Well, where do they stay, Geshe? Okay, where do those seeds from coming to class, if they don't stay, if their function is to kill the basket for the seeds, well, where are they going to stay? All right, but we didn't get there yet. Okay, Kushi number shipping, Ngoni, Nyambo Yimbe, because they are the antidote, okay, because they are the antidote, they're the fix for the problem of having a Kunshi. Okay, got it? Therefore, they are not kunshi number shaping all.
They are not the essence of the kunshi, or they're not
they're not made of kunshi. They're not made of kunshi. They don't live in the kunshi. They're not one with the kunshi. They don't sit in the kunshi. They are not the kunshi. Remember, seeds that have ripened already are the kunshi, and it holds seeds that haven't ripened already, okay? And he says, look, if they destroy the kunshi, then their nature is not of kunshi. So where do they stay? That's Tim's question. Jigten ba yin yang, jigten le depa, translated word, very sweet words, very poetic.
These are both the world and beyond the world.
Good. They are of the world, but they have They are of the world, but they have transcended the world.
Mm.
Ying Shintanamba Tabe Gyutumba. They are a cause. They are a consistent cause for the pure realm. Okay, they support the existence of the emptiness of which is your Buddha nature. They act to support the existence of your Buddha nature. Okay, or Gyutun means they contribute to the continuation of your Buddha nature. Okay, what? Going to class. Okay, so check this. When you get seeds in your being from going to class, they destroy your kunshi and they create the foundation of your Dharmakaya. Okay, all right. So we can say they are seeds for what word?
They're seeds for going beyond the world.
Yeah, for the state of mind, which goes beyond the world. Okay, that which is transcends samsara. Okay, they are seeds. All right, but never mind. Read one more, and Tim's gonna take you one more time.
Dini jikten lendepe sem machung tu sin kyang nyongmong pe kune tripe nyempo tang ngen sungdundro we nyempo tang nepar chepa tamche te nepar chepe nyempo yino.
Good. Chung de sin is an idiom that you guys don't know yet. Okay, chung de sin. Okay, chung de sin. It's an idiom. Okay, to sin is an idiom. It means, and even in the time up to the time when you get your state of mind beyond the world. Okay, even in the period until such time, it means until such time as you get your enlightened mind. Okay, your state of mind. Do these seeds do anything for you until you reach enlightenment? What do they do anything inside of you until the moment you cross over and become enlightened? Do they contribute to anything? He says, oh, to Sinkyang, even in the interim, even in the years until you get enlightened, they're doing lots of good stuff. They are acting as a nyembo for your nyomos.
They're an antidote for.
Yeah, they're an antidote for your negative emotions. And kunchi is an abhidharma synonym for negative emotion. Abhidharma gives a couple of synonyms for negative emotions, and kunchi, which means handcuffs, is a synonym. Okay, so the negative emotions which handcuff you, even before you get enlightened, those seeds from coming to class are fighting against your negative emotions even before you get enlightened. Okay, and they are keeping you out of
the lower realms.
Lower realms, which we have mentioned many times, and they're acting as the nyembo for all the bad things you might really want to do. Okay, all right. So, are they seeds? Are they antidotes? Yes. Are they doing something? Yes. Are they seeds? Yes. Do they lead to enlightened mind? Yes. Can we look upon them? Right here. Can we consider them almost metaphorically to be seeds for the Dharmakaya? Yeah, that's okay. You mean the Dharmakaya as a result? No, I just told you there's a cause without a result. That's what I meant. That's what I meant. It's good stuff that helps your Buddha nature shine, but it doesn't create your Buddha nature. I wouldn't say that. Okay, got it? Yeah, okay, nice. And there's some commentaries, words that you can read in the late nights when you're feeding your daughter with the extra milk there. I gave you 2 commentaries. I thought you might, they're actually pretty interesting. Okay, please read. You go, Hustle. Come on. Let's suffer some more. Oh, wait, Stanley wants to check you. But Hustle, you can come sit here and I'll pick on you shortly. Okay, word, Riktan.
릭 당호 모왕이 기 그위 결승바 딜 양념 샥 미떡 야셰
Yeah.
제톱 쑥 키위 결 송대 치열탄.
Okay. When we say that the first Rik, the first Buddha nature, is the cause of your essence body, okay? When we say that your first Buddha nature is the cause of your essence body, okay? What we mean is the Nyamshak Mito Geshe, the wisdom of deep meditation, which no longer sees things as self-existent, okay? Mito, they call non-conceptual. If that's what you understand when I say no longer sees things as self-existent, that's a good translation, okay? I like elaborations here, it's good, okay? So we can think of we can imagine something as a cause for the Dharmakaya, and we can imagine something else as a cause for the form body, Rupakaya. 2 Rupakayas, you sitting in your Buddha paradise, and then you sent to earth, okay? Those are Rupakaya. Dharmakaya has 2 parts, your mindset as an enlightened being and your inherent nature of emptiness, okay? He says the actual meditation in which you see emptiness directly, okay, is a cause for the Dharmakaya, the mind and the emptiness of a Buddha. And then Jetop, the state of mind you get after you come out of direct perception, helps you, we can call it a cause of your 2 physical bodies, okay? The first part is controversial, right? That the direct perception of emptiness could be a cause of your emptiness as a Buddha, but that doesn't have a cause. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay, he's just saying it. What's the definition of a cause? $100.
That which brings a result.
Something produces a result. Yeah. Sorry.
Short definition. Penje. That's all. It contributes to something. It contributes to something else. That's a short definition. Penje. Can the direct perception of emptiness contribute to the Dharmakaya?
Just to half of it.
That's a tough question.
It better contribute to something.
It's an absence.
Yeah.
But the Dharmakaya is not cause. Well, half
Yeah,
of it
that's
is
the
not
whole.
cause.
That's why we're spending like 2 terms on this question. It's a great question. Okay. All right. Please read, and we got Hasso here. Word.
Kap shendu yang sop ni rimpa shin kungi ki ngyor sung be yang chiro.
Kap shendu means in other contexts in scripture. You do get 2 causes described. You do get causes described for the 2 kinds of bodies. And what are the causes? Sopni. Gewadi,
Oh yeah, the accumulation of the 2.
Yeah. Okay, so the 2 collections of merit and wisdom. act as this cause for the form body and the wisdom body. Okay. All right. Or the Dharma body. All right. So Kap Shendu means in other contexts. Yeah. We're getting into a whole nother argument here, and it's going to be tricky. Please read word, and Hassel's going to check you.
Tumacheki kutang, tumacheki kuni
No check.
Do check.
tar tetar rikla yang tetar guna. Tuche la yang long chul seni ta depa ni yupe te ni ki rik seni ta depa ni kupe rik nisu nepar sumdu yang euro.
Okay, good. By the way, to understand this sentence completely, you got to say the two kinds of rik, okay, word. And that's something we haven't emphasized yet, but it's called rangshin nerik. And what's the other one?
Gerik.
Yeah, gerik. Ragata gayata gyasa gye, aunga yata gyasha gyur. And together they are pronounced gengyur. Say gengyur. Gengyur. Gengyur kirik. Rangshin nerik.
Yeah, sure.
Rangshin nerik. Gengyur kirik. Rangshin nerik means the Buddha nature which you have always had. Gengyur kirik means the Buddha nature which you have to, what is that nice word I used?
Develop.
Cultivate.
The one that you have to cultivate, okay? So you have two Buddha natures. One is that is built into you at the factory, 100% totally finished from the factory. And then you have a second Buddha nature that you have to develop through coming to class, okay? Or through other good deeds, okay? So this is a debate, okay? Let me see, there should be a Serna here somewhere. Okay. Yeah, anyway, this is a Serna, okay? It doesn't say it, but it's another guy, okay? And he says, look, are there two kinds of Buddha bodies? There's four bodies in general, right? But can we say that two of them are not produced by causes and effects and causes? I'm sorry. Can we say that there's one Buddha body you get, which you've always had and was not produced? Mm-hmm. And can we say there's another Buddha body that you get, which you have to develop? True or not? True or false?
True.
Yeah, there's one that there's one Buddha body that was not produced by causes and conditions. And then there's a second Buddha body, which is always caused by causes and conditions. The first one is, therefore, Yabatar, therefore, the rik which underlies each of them must be there similar. Okay, the Buddha nature which underlies those two must be similar. If there's a body that you get which is unchanging, and there's a body you get which is changing, then there must be two kinds of Buddha nature underlying those two bodies, which help you to get to those two bodies. There must be an unchanging nature, shunyata of you, and then there must be a changing nature, which is the fact that you can be affected by coming to class. Okay, that's part of your nature. You're naturally a Buddha in two ways. Number one, you're already a Buddha in your emptiness side. Number two, you are eminently developable into a Buddha. Okay, all right. Okay, so are there two kinds of bodies? Yes. Are there some bodies that never change and there's some bodies that change from moment to moment? Yes. Does it make sense then that there should be a Buddha nature underlying each one separately? Yes. Okay, one kind of Buddha nature which is developable, and one kind of Buddha nature which is permanent or unchanging. It always there, always will be. Okay, doesn't make sense. Yeah. Then he says, but you know, when we talk about the developable part of you, if you're, this is the other guy. If you say that there's two Buddha natures, changing and unchanging, because there's two kinds of parts of a Buddha, changing and unchanging, then since the changing part of a Buddha can be split into the paradise body and the emanation body, then I think there should be three rigs. Okay, there's the changing nature underlying the Buddha's Dharmakaya, and underlying the changing body of a Buddha. Since that's two bodies, there should be two more Buddha natures under those two. So you should have how many Buddha natures?
4.
Three. Right? You got one unchanging Buddha nature under your unchanging body. And then you got now two Buddha natures under your two changing bodies, which is your two form bodies, which is the body you have in paradise, one, and the body you send to earth, which is two. So he says, I don't like it that you always talk about two Buddha natures. Since you decided to posit, since you decided that there would be two Buddha natures because there's two Buddha bodies, well, since there's really three Buddha bodies, I say you're wrong. There should be three Buddha natures. What? An unchanging one that underlies your unchanging Dharmakaya, a changing one which underlies the body you send to earth, and a changing one that underlies the body you sit in your paradise. Okay? The other guy says, you guys always talking about two Buddha natures. I say there should be three. Why? Because you guys said they relate to where you go. You said that decides how many Buddha natures there are. Well, if that's the case, since there's two separate form bodies, you should have three Buddha natures by following your own methodology, by following your own system. How do you decide there's two Buddha natures? Well, because there's changing Buddha stuff and there's unchanging Buddha stuff. Okay, so you're looking at the result or the final outcome, and you say each one is relying on a separate Buddha nature. Yes. Well, one of the final outcomes has two final outcomes. So I say there should be three Buddha natures, he said. Okay, got it? Well, since the two form bodies are separate, there should be a separate Buddha nature underlying each one. Okay, which means Rik Nisama Ngepa. This is the Ngepa that means
A definite amount.
yeah, a definite number, fixed number. Therefore, it's wrong that you guys always talk about two Buddha natures. There should be three. That number should be, what do you call it? Inexact. That number should be imprecise. Why? Because Sumti Yangjiro.
There are 3.
Hey, it could have been three too. I mean, also. It also could have been three. Okay, that's that guy. Then we say Mingyur. And word, if you read fast, Hassel can check you and we can finish this argument.
Okay.
Oh, we have 6 minutes.
Yeah. That's two per body. That's two per Buddha nature.
Mane. Mingyarte te nika yange riksu chikpe soshe kyang jupar minute ngama le mande pe chierte nditangoa niku tang suku tseni tadepe te rikyang tuche tumache nitsundu ku shepa tsamdu zepe chiro.
Good. Mingyurte, okay, we say, no, we don't like this idea of splitting Buddha nature into three. Why? Because those two are the same kind.
Good.
last same kind. They're both Gengyu-kiric. They're both developable Buddha nature and not by nature Buddha nature. Rangshin Nerik means it's always been that way, it always will be that way, you always had it. Gengyu-kiric means developable, further developable Buddha nature, which is developed by planting seeds by going to class. And that's exactly what it says, and Grandpa didn't make it up. Gengyu-kiric Suchik. Look, the last two you mentioned are the same. They're both developable. So why count a second and a third? We go back to two. Okay, they're both the same. Why? They both deal with developable Buddha nature. They're both of the two form bodies. Different causes. Okay, so he says, okay, you can say, he says, if they're both Buddha nature, then we can have three Buddha natures. And we say, you cannot say that, okay? I'm sorry, I gotta say it again. He says, I don't like it that you split off two more Buddha natures. Why? Because they're both developable Buddha natures. Yeah, you could say that, but that doesn't help either. Why? You have the same problem that you had before. Literally, you have not gone beyond the same problem that you had at the beginning. What? Since the two Buddha bodies, the two pairs of Buddha bodies are so radically different from each other, then the Buddha nature underlying them should also be radically different. If there's two radically different kinds of Buddha bodies, what? One that changes and one that cannot change, then it's natural to say there's two Buddha natures underlying them, one which changes and one which is developable and one developable, and one which stays by nature. That's all. That's all we're saying. You have to agree. Why? We're just saying you have to agree because look, there's two kinds of Buddha nature. Why? They're just so radically different. One you've always had and always will have. And on it, you build your Buddha bodies. And then you got another nature which goes from lesser to medium and goes from meteor to great as you study more and more and more. And then it helps the Dharmakaya pop out without changing. Okay. All right, something to say, but that's the end of it. Okay. That's all she wrote, my dad would say. All right. We got 2 minutes. Let's not waste it, Word.
1 minute, yep.
Yang chuni la riksundupa yang tenchu ki tade dunje pe rikla nupo tade sum tumi chepe kyun du mingyorshe kyang jupar minute.
Good. And I'll just translate it straight. Shanyan chuni la riksundupa yang. If you say that emptiness is Buddha nature, okay? If you say that emptiness is Buddha nature, okay? Then what relies on that Buddha nature, okay? So tenchu is like the cup on the table, okay? I'm sorry. He says tenchu, the table that supports it, okay? Tade du njepa. What's njepa word? Njepa.
To discriminate or
yeah, you gotta split them.
Differentiate.
You gotta split them into two different ones. Okay, I'm not quite comfortable with the tension. I might have been more comfortable with breath tension. Tension is the cup of water. Breath tension is the table. Okay, breath tension is the table. Breath tension is the cup of water. Okay. Yeah, I think it should have been Tencha, but maybe you can look it up, Word. Maybe you can check it, okay? If the bodies that are resting on the two natures can be divided, sorry. Yeah, I guess, no, I think it makes more sense. Tencha equals root makes more sense, okay? What's relying on what? There's two things relying on two things. What are they?
The Dharmakaya, or the mental body, is relying upon Rangxing Nerik.
Good. The unchanging or the Dharma, by the way, if the Dharma includes changing and unchanging parts, it is considered as a whole
Unchanging.
unchanging by the rules of Buddhism. If you have an unchanging body, it's resting on an unchanging Buddha nature, and then you have
The changing body is resting on
resting on a changing Buddha nature. Okay, Tada du Jepe. If you're basing your division of the natures on what's resting on them, okay, or what those two bodies are relying on. Therefore, since we are mainly interested in establishing that one set of Buddha bodies rests on an unchanging nature and one set of Buddha bodies rests on a changing nature, we don't think that your problem, Ken, that we have failed to split out three different natures is valid. Okay, we're not interested in all the different kinds of changing bodies. That's not the point here. The point is there's two kind of natures because there's two kind of Buddha bodies. One of them doesn't change and one of them does change. That's all. We don't think you should say there's three, okay? Then he says, Jupa minute, you cannot say that. Okay? You can't say there's not three. You have to say there's three, all right? But what's the problem? We don't get to find out till next class.
Yay, a mind-only cliffhanger.
Oh, you want something to chew on in the meantime?
Yeah.
I'll give it to you, and maybe Word as a challenge, okay? Word likes challenges. An unpaid voluntary challenge. Here we go. It has to do with the question of Tartuk Tekpa Sum or Tartuk Tekpa Chik, okay? And that's a very heavy teaching inside of Tim's book, okay? Inside of Tim's book. Ultimately speaking, do all paths lead to the same thing? Or are there three separate paths that will always be separate?
Mm-hmm.
Now, somehow that relates to this debate. Somehow that relates to this debate. And you guys, everybody in this class today can chew on it, okay? If it's true that ultimately all religious paths in the world are headed towards the same thing, which is the position of Buddhism. Okay? All spiritual teaching, all spiritual paths in the world are headed to the same result. That is a Buddhist teaching. But some people say, no, that's not true. There are always separate paths with separate results, okay? So you tell me, cook it. How does that relate to this question about two or three bodies? Because he thinks it does. Somebody thinks it does. It seems a mystery. So you guys figure it out. All right, I'll see you bright and early.
Thanks very much, Geshe. And speaking of bright and early, Word's going to get up even brighter and earlier than everybody else, hopefully, than me, to teach you guys a Tibetan basics class. So thank you so much, Word, for doing that. And I think there's a lot of people out there that would appreciate it. So tell your friends they're not here tonight. if you guys want to learn the alphabet and how to correct words pronunciation, he'll teach you.
And thank you again for working ahead on your own time and working ahead and translating more. That's the kind of hunger for translation that everyone's going to have if you're going to be a translator. And it makes me, when I saw it, I was just really happy. So thank you for that. All right.
Thank you, Geshe. Have a good night. Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Have a great night.
Good night to all the kids.